Is called Addressing the Future, and I want to point this magazine out to you. I made up 4 pseudonyms to create this magazine. So one of them is on the first page is Dexter Nicholson, and these are all pseudonyms that are a play on my name, which is Nicole Dextras. We made this one, and the idea is to make it fresh, out of fresh materials. But then I would always let it kind of go back to nature. And what I would do is, because I'm a photographer, I will then continue to photograph it. I just let it rot and decompose and fall apart. And the idea is to show that it's still beautiful, it's still very interesting looking, even though it's aged. So it's talking about how nature, the process of nature, and to accept more the process of nature instead of us trying to impose ourselves on nature, which we are wont to do in our culture. My inspiration as an artist is really about creating things that talk about the passage of time, because that's a particular interest that I have, is understand that things change and that we're in a world full of change, and change is hard. We don't like change. We want things to always be the same, and it's all around the board. And we need to adapt. We need to be more adaptable as people. So that's one of the things that I'm really interested in, and that motivates my work, is somehow being able to interpret this passage of time. The fast fashion has sort of escalated the whole thing, and you know, the disasters that we've had in Bangladesh, where people died in factories, and you compare that to the shirtwaist factory, where you know, the women were locked into the factory, and they perished in the fire because they couldn't actually, there was no door, there was no escape. So this is the same thing that's happening in Bangladesh today. In North America, we now have rules, and we have unions, and we have all sorts of things so people don't die in a fire. It doesn't mean that that's everywhere around the world, so we've kind of passed on those bad conditions of factories to other countries. And that's what's sort of supporting the fashion industry.